President Trump has nothing to do but to basically lean into this and try to defend himself publicly, even as there's this unprecedented gag order that sits over top of him. This is truly a hoax. And I know we hear that a lot, but there's been a whole lot of hoaxes. But I'm happy that at least the person that went to the defense today, a professor that's actually speaking out about this situation. But where are all the other business groups? What's really happening here? You heard your reporter say that their goal here is to take all of President Trump's properties and put them into receivership. Like, what the hell kind of banana republic are we living in here?
And we heard Eli Bartov, who's testifying today, but the Deutsche Bank executive was pretty forthright in coming and saying, hey, he did nothing wrong here. And you're right, Devin, it could set precedents for other businesses in New York. A lot at stake here, though, but particularly, Ed, you know this, a lot at stake for former President Donald Trump.
Yeah, I think Devin's point, your point is important, though. Deutsche Bank testifies, hey, this is not abnormal. I read the local papers here in South Florida, and on Sunday, there's all these real estate ads. And this past Sunday, I saw a plot of land near Mar-a-Lago, not as big, doesn't have the swimming pools and the social clubs and all that. It's about $75 million.
You're going to pick it up?
I can't afford it, but there are people who can. I think Donald Trump could. And this plot of land, yeah, it's on the ocean, but it's like a little microorganism of what Mar-a-Lago is. And it's $75 million. And yet this judge thinks that Mar-a-Lago is $18 million. No one believes that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a real estate appraiser. No one believes that. But I think there's a second point here, which is there's a gag order, as you said, to try to prevent the president from telling the truth. There's essentially a gag order with the State Department. If you listen to this lawsuit from Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, who's saying there's this global disinformation index that the Biden administration has been doing to try to go after Newsmax, go after Truth Social and say, you guys are spreading disinformation. They're going to be the arbiters of truth. What they want to do is restrict the First Amendment for the president, for us, for Devin Nunes and his company. And on top of that, as Devin just said, take away the president's properties. This is becoming a communist nation.
I think people are really seeing it, especially in contrast to what we are not seeing on the flip side with President Joe Biden. And we are looking towards December 13th. As you know, Hunter Biden expected to have his deposition with Congress. But just yesterday, guys, it was breaking news here on Newsline where there was a news conference and Biden was asked point blank about Hunter's business entity, ties linked to China. He was trying to speak about funding for Ukraine, but this was what happened during this news conference. Let's listen.
There is polling by the Associated Press that shows that almost 70% of Americans, including 40% of Democrats, believe that you acted either illegally or unethically in regards to your family's business interests. Can you explain to the Americans, amid this impeachment inquiry, why you interacted with so many of your son and brother's foreign business associates?
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
You didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
What do you think, Devin? Wall's closing in here?
Well, I just remember I was thinking back as I was preparing to come on the show today, and I remember back to General Flynn. Do you remember when General Flynn, who was the incoming national security advisor for President Trump back in 2017, and Ed, you'll remember this, you were covering this, and the story was, oh my God, General Flynn went to Moscow and he gave a speech and he got paid for it. Now, that was all disclosed. Everybody knew about it, but everybody in the fake news media, all the Democrats, everybody in Washington, D.C. went nuts. DOJ opened an investigation into General Flynn. Now, here we have the DOJ and the FBI have known about these payments for a really long time. And they've hid this, from everybody. Thankfully, the Republicans have been able to get through some of this. And remember, right before the last election, the Hunter Biden laptop from hell was determined to be Russian disinformation by so many people that held security clearances in our own government. So, look, the walls have closed in. The only question is that when do more than, say, half the people in the United States of America realize this? And I would finish with this. Team Obama, who's actually running this White House, they want Biden out. They want him gone. And they want to get him replaced with someone. They just don't know who. But I think Biden and his small regime in the White House, surrounded by Obama people, the question is when will Team Obama rip it off? Team Obama controls the Justice Department.